Hello everybody, welcome to a new video. Today I'm going to be talking about tabs. Reason being, I recently just platinumed this game, and I found this platinum to be one of the hardest ones I've ever done. Now, have I done many? No, I have 40 platinums, but I want to extremely pump that number to some crazy ass number. And the way I've been doing that, I've just been playing games that I already have in my catalog. Tabs is a game that I probably bought this October, and I was like, sure, why not go to platinum? It couldn't be that hard, could it? Well, I was kind of right and kind of not. There are one set of achievements that I personally just wanted to pull my hair out, but the rest were pretty okay. Those one set of achievements are called beating the campaign without dying once. It was not fun in the slightest. Now you might be asking me, why is it so hard to even beat these campaigns without losing once? Well, let me tell you, Tabs is a game where kind of everything's thrown out the window. Common sense, units themselves. Look at that dragon up there. He's flying. This is not totally accurate at all. This is beyond accurate, and that's the whole point. It's supposed to be a really silly game, but when you have to take this game kind of seriously and need to win a campaign that roughly has 12 levels a page, maybe 3 pages for almost all of them, it's hard, right? It is hard to beat 36 with your units constantly being able to put up the worth that they are. Even some strategies that work for others don't work for you until maybe the 5th time, but I'm here to tell you the things that I did to personally kind of bypass this kind of losing streak that I always had, and everything else that I did to guarantee success to win it, because I couldn't find any videos online. Maybe you guys can at least follow in my footsteps on what I had to do to get this platinum, because it was a struggle. It really just hurt my head in every single way. So that's all this video is going to be. It's just going to be me telling you what I did, some tricks that I figured out, some things that I learned online, because there are some people that talk about it, and just the nice optimal way of beating this game. So, if you're willing to do this a platinum trophy, the first thing we want to go to is our settings. So, here at settings, we want to go under the gameplay tab, and we want to put on 2 things: unlock all units and campaign levels, and enable unit health bars. Being able to have every unit in a campaign is very useful. How campaigns work is usually they give you a specific set of characters that you need to use to beat a certain task, which is usually beating the other side. Sometimes they get a little wacky with it, but it's not often. Now, the levels are always kind of trying to challenge that side of the game, but if you have everybody unlocked instantaneously or in those levels, they kind of don't build around those other ones. So it's a lot of an easier time when you have every unit just there on default, right? Now, enable unit health bars is going to help us for a trick later that I'm going to teach you. This is going to be able to let us know when our units are going to die, because there is actually a way to get around the whole losing aspect. So, yeah. The last thing I just want to mention too is that if you do go online and you do search up some strategies, a lot of people say to use the DLC bugs. Now, the reason why I didn't use this is because, at least on PlayStation, ineligible for trophies. It literally tells you right at the bottom. Now, I don't know if you could have used this to like beat a bunch of levels and then stop using it and then played the last level 1 and then maybe you popped the trophy. I don't know. Maybe you can tell me. But I personally didn't use this. Maybe there was an easier way and I didn't have to rip every single hair out of my head, but I'm just going to let you know now. Maybe there was a way to make this go faster. Maybe making all units not die would have been an easier thing. I don't know. But I just read what the game said. There's not a lot of people talking about it online, so that's what I opted for. The next thing that I do want to mention before we get into the actual steps of completing this game is custom content. If you don't know, Tabs allows you to be able to download mods from other people, allows you to make your own mods, and this is another thing that I saw online that people would use. They would go to one of these mods. You can see already I have some of them here. And they would try to find the most overpowered units. Right there, OP units. Ones that I've downloaded. And personally, on at least PlayStation, I know it worked on Xbox at least, I think. Because I think that was the forum I went to. It would work. PlayStation don't let you use modded characters or custom-made characters in custom or in campaign levels. So, yeah. That also does not fly around here. You got to use the units they give you, and no cheating to make every level the easiest thing ever. So those are the 2 things I want to mention now before you go trying to like solve it. Maybe there is a way to do it, but I personally couldn't find a way of just looking for it, so I had to just play it legit. Alright, step one of doing tabs achievements. And that is honestly just trying to get through the nitty gritty of the shittiest part about it, the campaigns. The campaigns are some of the worst things ever because of those achievements where you have to win without losing a single time. But I do have a couple tricks that are going to help you and guarantee your victory. So let's talk about the first one, the most critical one, and that is how to save yourself if you are going to lose. Because there is actually a way to guarantee not losing your win streak. So if you're going to lose, right? Let's go here, Clubber, right? Now, if you saw this and you're like, I'm going to lose this, and you pause it, that considers a loss. The game will consider a loss. You'll lose your whole streak. That's bad. It's really annoying, but there's a way to get around it. What you're going to want to do is press the menu button, main menu. That's it. There are some people that have said this online, and again, tabs stuff isn't really here. I looked at the platinum page for this game. 70 people have only got it, and I checked to see if anybody's done a platinum video on this. No one has. I could have done one, but I'm personally not in the space to want to like make one of those highly edited videos yet. I can't physically do it. I wish I could because this game's amazing, and it's a really honestly kind of hard one with what you have to do. So you're gonna want to do that, and you'll have it. So let me show you. As you see here, these are ones that I actually have. Again, I've won every single one without dying or losing once. So I'm not gonna do it because I kind of want to keep the trophy on. But I promise you, if you were to pause the game, you will lose it. So if I start it and I press this main menu thing, it's not gonna lose my trophy or it's not gonna lose my win streak. And we go back to the campaign and adventure, and you see I still have my trophy. Now, as you can see, some of these don't have it, and that's because they do reset even if you do beat it all. So even if you do beat every single one of these and you get the achievement and everything, if you go back into one of these levels and lose it, it's gonna suck. So yeah, you're gonna want to do every single one of these, and there's actually 2 of them where you're gonna have to go to specific maps to unlock them. That is 1, the Legacy, 2, Fantasy, and actually 3, Fantasy Evil. Now, if you want to unlock these maps, you're gonna have to do 3 things. 1, well, actually, you only have to unlock 2. You're gonna have to go to Medieval 1 first. This is where we're gonna unlock Fantasy Good. And there's another map that looks exactly like this where we're gonna unlock Evil. So what you're gonna want to do is go into a free range camera, go all the way down here, and look at this door. And you can hear that vibrant sound. It's basically what the secret units in this game sound like, which also I kind of highly suggest trying to go for. There are some that are gonna be helpful. You don't really have to. I really didn't use them a lot when I played, but there are some strategies out there that are going to be needed. Now, next what you're going to want to do is go to where this light is, this little light crack. And you're going to just want to like stare at it, kind of sit in it, and just kind of be a little dumb with it. Wait a little bit. And eventually, this whole thing's just going to light up. Activate. Oh, there we go. I don't know why it worked then, but okay. So, this is going to happen. It's going to go bright. As you can see, that's landfalls. Symbol, and all you have to do is go into this orb. It takes a little bit, and there you go. This is how you unlock Fantasy Good, and it starts your whole campaign. And I think it keeps me here because I already unlocked it. Yes, okay. So that's Fantasy Good. Now, if you want to get Fantasy Evil, you're gonna have to go to Spooky 1, which is the exact same map as the Medieval one, but has a nice little spooky feeling to it. And this is where we're gonna get the Evil one. You go to the exact same place, and you go down this evil decrepit hole, and boom, Fantasy or Evil Fantasy, Fantasy Evil, blah blah blah. Now, if you want to do the Legacy campaign, you have to unlock every single Legacy unit, which there are guides out there to help you, but there is one specific Legacy unit that you're gonna want to take a good attention to, and that Legacy unit is going to be Thor. Thor is a very special Legacy unit that is going to help you cheese almost every single map. And he's going to help you guarantee success without having to use a single brain cell. Now, to unlock Thor, if you want to get the Legacy thing really fast and help you throughout the beginning ones, he's going to be right here. It's going to be his hammer right in this little divot. And obviously, you're going to have to get every single other one. Again, there's guides out there to help you with that. But here's Thor. Now, the reason why Thor is so good And one of the best units is because of his special thing he can do. As you see here, my square, I press it, big zap. And that was from a far range. But Thor has a really crazy range. And I am not kidding you when I say crazy. It is insane. And let me just show you in like a specific level. All right, here we are, the King. We're in the introduction, and we have the level the King here. We have 4,800, and Thor costs 2,200. So he can be used in levels that obviously have the enough money for. So here we are at the castle, and this is a very high point, to the point where the enemies can't hit you. But that's where Thor's fun little thing comes in, because you can hit them. So all you have to do is wait for him to get close, spam it, and there you go. Already some units dead. And you have to wait for the reload, and this is all you're going to have to do. You're just going to have to sit here and zap. Now, again, is it particularly fun? No. You can definitely do these levels by strategizing and thinking of ways to do it, but with so many levels and really, honestly, very annoying AI, right? Like, the AI are supposed to be kind of stupid, kind of silly, kind of do random things, not always reliable on. There's gonna be points where you just want to just stop, right? Like it's like you just don't want to do this anymore. So this is a very nice and easy way to do it. I call it the Dragoon strategy because a YouTuber named by Dragoon tried to beat tabs by only using one unit, and I saw him use Thor, and I was like, huh. Well, if Thor works like this, right? Why not just use them, right? Like, if he can do this, why can't I just use it to help me do these levels? And it does work. And I'm going to show you every single level where I personally feel comfortable using them. There are some levels where you can't do this and strategy is the only way, but you just keep zapping. And if you really want to make sure that like your things are hitting, all you have to do is press triangle again to get out of free range and press circle immediately to guarantee that you're not going to have like your AI like fall off by accident. Go back in and just keep zapping away. Like, this is all it. And it's a nice way to guarantee you won't lose. But now let's talk about the maps that you can actually do it in, because, well, that's going to be probably be very useful. So first I'll just say every single one, and then I'll kind of show you where I like to place them. So Tribal, Tribal 2, Tribal Sandbox, all very acceptable places. They all have pretty high points, and I think you can see from the pictures here, any of those mountains would work. There are some levels that make you go in a closed circle where you can't do this, but if you are able and freely open to, just do it if you have enough money. It's very nice. Now, Farmer 1, Farmer 2, Medieval 1, those levels I personally don't find comfortable sitting on top of like trees or the houses, because enemies can still hit you. And the whole point about this is just guaranteeing that you're not going to get hit and you can still hit them. So personally, just find a strategy for those ones, and I think you should be fine. A lot of them are not really that hard anyways, and there's a lot of guides out there to help you beat these levels. There's multiple ways to beat them, and if one isn't working but you kind of know it kind of well, just kind of move things around a little bit, try it again, because again, the AI in this is super dumb. I personally wouldn't go into them if you are making a strategy, just because it's harder to guarantee that you are going to, like, if your character dies, right, you're not going to lose. So Medieval 2, you already saw. Ancient 1 is a little bit of a tricky place, I won't lie. I guess we'll go into it just to kind of show you where I would like personally like to place it, but it's still risky. So depending on the level, you can place it here or on the statue. Um, I personally like placing on top of the house, but there are some range units that can still hit you from here, like the barista. It will still hit you. So again, more inclined to just use a strategy, but you can definitely cheese it if you have the right units trying to fight you. Agent 2 is another one. There's a bunch of stairs that lead up to like that high ground where I don't feel personally comfortable doing it, so I don't. But you definitely could if there is maybe not a lot of units, maybe not like a special requirement to it, right? Now we go to Ancient Sandbox, where this one I actually kind of have to show you just because it's so far out. But all you want to do is go all the way back here, back up this mountain, and you're going to want to place your unit right here and just stand right here. The water is a really cool unit in this game because it is your friend. It is very much a unit in this game and is your friend all the way through, because any enemy that goes in there kind of like falls into it like jello and kind of just slowly gets taken away, and it works. And you're going to see this for one of the levels where you're going to use mainly for achievements. Viking and Viking Sandbox. These have two cheese methods. Viking Sandbox, you can probably see just the upper edge of that mountain, but Viking is a little bit more unique in the sense because there's a lot of trees, and we're going to use these trees for our advantage. Now, where I like placing mine, and mine is like very used to, is right here in this little area right here. Usually back here. The reason I like here because obviously enemies can't get through, and I find it easier to guarantee that he's going to stay safe. Now, the other place you can place him, if you maybe have more money, is placing him like back here at these edges, but I find it very scary just in case because there are the enemies that like leap over. You have the Valkyries that come down from the sky and they can hit your unit. They will hit you and you might have to restart levels over and over just to guarantee you get that one lucky run where everything's kind of grouped up together and kills it within a single Thunderbolt. So place it there. It's not guaranteed, but it's a very nice place to put it. Next is Dynasty, which personally you could put on top of that house or the building that's there, but it's another one where I really didn't like to mess with that because I feel like I could still get hit, especially with the units that are in there. I really didn't like a lot of those range ones, so I mainly just came up with a strategy for most of them. Now, the Renaissance. The Renaissance is the best map for multiple reasons. It has water, and we already know about water. It's crazy. It's crazy good. And the epic thing about this place is that you're going to be able to do 2 achievements here just by playing through the campaign, basically. 2 of those achievements is going to be playing with a Reaper and winning 20 times, and also playing with the Musket, or I think that's his name. If we look right here, the Musketeer, sorry. And the reason this place is so good is because no matter how many units there are, no matter how much range there is on these guys, you can win. Well, if I didn't do that, all you have to do is stand right here, and the enemies won't be able to see me, right? They are too dumb to see me. And the water is going to be one of the most useful things ever. And I want to kind of take a look. If you go too far, you will get hit. But if you take a look right here, they slowly drown. And that's it. Most of the levels can be beaten like this from the Resistance. Not the Resistance, the Renaissance. It's a really good map, and I suggest using it for these 2 specific missions. There might be some other ones where you can use it for, but those are the only 2 I used specifically. And it's a really easy, cheesy map to do. And again, you could probably beat like half of the Resistant campaign just by doing this if you want. You could do it legit, but if you want to, this is a really easy way of doing it. Next, we got Pirate, which Pirate, not too crazy. It kind of works for like almost levels except for 1. So what you want to do is just place your Thor up here and try to get more like in between the crack. I've noticed like if I use stand right here, there's a potential you might get shot. There is a level called Blackbeard Returns or something like that. I think it's in the western slot for levels, and it is a level where you do not want to use a strat. I'm just going to let you out there right now. I lost there because Blackbeard can spawn cannons from the sky, and he doesn't need to be like near you. He'll spawn them, and it's a one-shot to Thor, at least to what happened to mine. So I personally would just try to come with the strategy. I got really lucky. I pushed Thor into the water with a Gatling gun. So yeah, you just search it up. Don't do what I did. I lost all my progress, and I was so mad because sometimes losing is a little bit unclear, right? So you're not going to be able to catch it all the time. And right when you see that defeat sign, that is immediately when you lose. That's immediately, like, you can't just leave back. It doesn't wait. It is immediately when you see defeat, all your units are dead. That is when the game says you have lost. All your progress is gone. Spooky 1 and Spooky 2 are 2 maps that don't have a cheese spot. And Wild West is one that makes me feel good because I personally kind of figured out where to place it. Like for me personally, I had to figure out where it was. And the place you want to place your Thor is right here, right at this building. The reason you want to place this here is because, well, even though this place is higher, a lot of enemies get trapped between these houses, and some of these houses have these like rail guards on top, which is not good. Your Thunderbolts don't go through it. They won't have like insane splash damage, so you can't hit anybody with it. But I found standing right here creates basically every enemy from every angle to kind of walk upon this house. And as you see, there's nothing there to stop the Thunderbolt from hitting. Sometimes it likes hitting the edge, but eventually you'll do it. I did it a lot because I failed at the Western one so much, even though it's not particularly hard. I'm just really stupid, and I lost to the Blackbeard one. And we don't have to get into that, but it's a nice one. It's a nice, easy one. Legacy, I'm sorry, buddy. There is no way to hide in this one. Legacy, I think, is probably the hardest map to beat, just kind of off of how much RNG is placed in a lot of those levels. And I wish there was a way to cheese it, but there's really not. So you're gonna have to find strategies. There's a video by someone where I watched to at least beat the beginning ones, and then the later ones I had to come up with my own strategy. I wish I put down what my strategies were. I wish I could share that all with you, but yeah, that's all I got. Now we can talk about Fantasy Evil and Fantasy Good, because these are also campaigns that you're gonna have to deal with. Fantasy Good's pretty easy. Just place your units up here. Stay a little bit farther back. A lot of units like kind of just falling down the hole, which is pretty cool if you just stand back there. So easy. You don't really need a Thor. You could also do it here for your Musketeer and Reaper kills if you have enough money. Or winning levels, I mean. And then Fantasy Evil is another kind of wacky one. Fantasy Evil has a lot of levels that don't allow you to kind of move your units freely. But if you can, place it up here. The only time you cannot use it is if when you're fighting the big old mean boss man. And what I mean by big old mean boss man is this guy, the Void Monarch. He can teleport, and the reason he teleports is because he gets hit. So even if you're sky high, you're all the way up here, he can't physically reach you. Right when you hit him with that Thunderbolt, he's going to teleport to you, and he's probably going to kill you. So come up with a strategy for that one. But for the 3 levels you can do it, just do it like that. But those are all the spots, really. That's really all I got to say. The last achievement I do just want to mention is called Tank You. It makes you win with a tank within 10 seconds, and you can only have the tank. It's not a hard achievement in the slightest, but it's one that I didn't really have a definitive answer on. So I obviously did it by myself, and I just kind of want to put in here just for the people that still need it. So use long ships. It's in the introduction. It's the final level in there. Just put a tank down. Tank is a unit you can get through the legacy stuff. So that's it. And I hope that this little guide right here could help you cheese some of those levels for the campaign. The rest of the achievements are fairly fine, fairly fun. They just involve character specifics, like using the tree giant to kill a specific thing, using Zeus, and throwing 1 Thunderbolt to kill 20 enemies. They're all just pretty easy stuff to do. But the campaigns is just a very polar opposite to what this game feels like, right? This game's supposed to be really silly, really funny, and you're not really supposed to take it that seriously. But with achievement like this, it feels like it makes you take it seriously, right? And I feel like it's a really wacky thing to take. A lot of these strategies work sometimes, and it really makes it really annoying. So just if your strategy is not working, maybe switch it up. Maybe look up for another one, because they have very low success rates. There's a lot of guides out there for specific levels, but hopefully with this Zeus just kind of sitting in one place strat, you won't lose as many brain cells as I did. So yeah, that's all I want to say. I'm back to making content again. Took a little week's break, but I'm back now. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope to see you next time. Peace.